So I wanted to identify these, and it might be helpful just to see the picture and see them kind of written out here. So vertical angles are angles that are right across from each other. So the examples would be like A and D. That's an example. E and H. B and C. And F and G. Those are all going to be vertical, and they're all going to be congruent to each other. And by congruent, I just mean equal to each other. Let's use somewhat informal language. So alternate interior angles are angles that are inside the parallel lines. So here we're going to see two pairs. And it's going to be C and F are going to be a pair for alternate interior. And then we're also going to see D and E. Now these are alternate interior, but they're equal if these two lines here are parallel. So make sure that's not necessarily a given. They're going to have to tell you that. Usually they'll say like M and L or M and N, but they have to be parallel to each other for those to be congruent. And then for corresponding angles, they're going to be A and E is one pair. Another pair would be B and F. Another pair is G and C. And then finally, we would have D and H as the last one. As you can see them switching colors here. So these are the four pairs. Now there's going to be some overlap as I do it, but you can kind of see here that if I were to take the A, B, C, D, the top half, and slide it down here, it'd be the same thing. That's what I'm kind of hoping for, that you can see it. That's just called corresponding. And finally for this, we're going to have alternate exterior angles. These are angles that are outside of the parallel lines, or they don't have to be parallel, but outside the lines, and they're going to be on the opposite side of each other like this. So A and H is one pair, and the other pair would be B and G. So let's say that you had this kind of image and you were given that these angles, we'll call them lines, X, Y, and Z, were all parallel to each other. We could actually figure out the rest of the missing angles on this. The first thing I want to do is apply the vertical angles. So if this is 110, that makes this is 110. And I might be lazy and not really write the degree symbol for all of them. And also, this would be 60 degrees down here. We should know that a straight line makes up 180 degrees. So if this is 110 degrees here, then this missing angle, 110 plus, we'll call it question mark there, is going to equal 180. So that'd be 70. And of course, if that's 70, then the one across from it also has to be 70 since it's a vertical angle. And then we can go below it. If this is 70, then down here will be 70 because it's corresponding. So now I'm just going to write the ones that are corresponding to the ones above it. I can't do that up there because this one was sliced in 60 at the top. Now you might be trying to figure out what this angle is over here. We can't just assume it's 70 or 110 or anything like that, or 60, but we do see that inside of here we have a triangle, and we should know that the sum of the angles inside of a triangle could be 180 degrees. So this would be that missing angle. We'll call it question mark, a little apostrophe there, plus 60 plus 70 equals 180. 60 plus 70 is 130. And then after we subtract 130 on both sides, we're going to get 50 for this angle. So again, if this is 50, then using vertical angles, this is going to be 50. And we can also use the idea of a linear pair again, that this straight line has to add up to be 180. So that would make this missing side 130. And that makes this 130 over here. And likewise, we can do the same thing as we go down the list. And this would be 130, 130, 50, and 50. And then for the last bit, this spot here will correspond to the angle up here. Ignore the purple line there. And that lets us know that this part here is 70. And then we know that, hey, this is a straight line right here. So these three angles, the 70, the 60, and we'll put on the double question mark will add up to be 180, and that would make that 50. It's the same thing over here. So we'll put 150 or 50 here. And then again, vertical angles are going to be congruent to each other. So this angle has to be 70, and this one has to be 50.